glow. Just a bit.
Alright, we're off to a really good start. I just tried to reach for a new bookmark, and as you can see, they all fell on the ground. Okay. Love that. Love that for me. Good morning. Have I introduced this vlog yet? I don't think so. Hey, how you doing? Today's gonna be trying to be a very productive day. As you saw, I have quite the big, long to-do list. Definitely first on the to-do list, try to get these bangs to behave. I kind of want to cut my hair, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that today. But regardless, I just want to take you guys with me on a day of doing a lot of stuff that needs to be done. I think I would definitely like to film a more expansive, cozy, cinematic morning routine full video in the future, but you did get a little bit of it this morning. And speaking of morning routines, something I do every morning, you'll be glad to know, is put on deodorant. And so without further perspiration, I would like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Native deodorant. Thank you so much. I've heard a lot about Native from other YouTubers that I watch, and a while ago my mom switched to an aluminum-free deodorant, which is kind of the first time that alerted me that maybe I should do the same. And then Native reached out to me, so the armpits align. They very kindly sent me 3 different scents, and I love all of them. It dries so quickly. All of these deodorants are aluminum-free, paraben-free, sulfate-free, and they're also vegan and cruelty-free, which is amazing. The first one that I got, this one I think is my favorite, this is the coconut and vanilla smell. This one makes me so hungry because it smells like a macaroon, or like a chocolate macaroon. This one is cucumber and mint. This one definitely reminds me of those very fancy jugs, crystal jugs of lime and mint water that you get at weird conventions and stuff like that. A very refreshing kind of spa scent, which is really nice. This one is lavender and rose. This one makes me feel like a princess, I'm not gonna lie, but also maybe a bumblebee treat. 3 of these deodorants are usually $36 USD, but if you use my code EMMY, you can actually get all 3 of them for $24, which is 33% off. So I will leave a link down below in the description box. Thank you so much to Native for sponsoring this video, making sure I smell good. And let's get into the day now that I am fresh. It's literally 3:20 right now. Yeah. So I think the theme for today is going to be trying to have as productive a day as possible in the shortest amount of time, because I ended up waking up at noon, which is crazy. I like never sleep in, but I think my body just really needed it, and thankfully I don't feel as exhausted as yesterday because I think I slept for longer. And then last night as well, I got kind of woken up by the snow because it was extremely loud snow. It was crazy. It was like slush falling from the sky. So, but now this morning, or this afternoon I should say, is much brighter and the snow's all melting. So I'm gonna go for a walk, but as you saw this morning, I managed to get a lot of the things checked off of my to-do list, which is really good. I managed to, I think, get a lot of stuff done in a short amount of time, which I wasn't really expecting from myself, but good job. I just finished my emails, I just got ready for the day. I kind of want to film a video, even though I usually film kind of in the morning, early afternoon, not really late afternoon or evening. But we'll see. I really want to film an ASMR video today because it's been so long since I've done one, and thankfully today I think it's pretty quiet in here, so I might do that when I get back from a walk. But I also want to make sure to sit down and film some of my Dickens vlog for the Pickwick Papers because I haven't done that for a while as well. But I guess I should start with some reading updates because I did a few yesterday but not too many. I actually finished 2 books over the weekend. They're super short. One of them I adored and one of them was just okay. They're both audiobooks, and the first one is called Ungirls by Lauren Bucas, I think is how you say her last name. So this is another kind of futuristic sci-fi one set in a kind of not too distant Cape Town, South Africa, where we're following this girl named Natalie, and she's graduated with a psychology degree, but she can't find work at all, so she starts to get into some kind of futuristic sex work, which is really interesting. This was a short story, and it's part of like this series, I think it's called Disorder, which is like a series of books all by different people geared towards making you like kind of feel disturbed and uneasy, to make you think about certain topics and stuff like that. So this one was interesting, but I think a lot of it was just shock value, and also because it was because it was so short, there's just a lot put in there, and like a lot of seemingly unnecessary details, a lot of people and characters that we didn't even get to really follow because it was so short. So I would have liked to see this kind of expanded a bit more. And I think there was some really interesting commentary and like super cool ideas, but I just think like there's a little bit like too much and too saturated for this short story format. So that is that one. I gave it 2.5 stars. I did enjoy it, but like I said, I had some problems with it. However, then I listened to an audiobook, and I think it's only available as an audiobook. I'm pretty sure it's called Evil Eye. It was so good. It was so good. It's been so long since I have been like frightened and scared by a book, and like listening to it and like your chest goes tight and you get that anxiety, and like you kind of forget to breathe while you're listening because you're just kind of on the edge of your seat. It's just so suspenseful. This one was so good. This one is also super short, and it's all told through a series of phone calls and messages, which is incredible. It's a full cast. The performances were just wonderful. I wish more audiobooks did this. Like more audiobooks would take in full cast and take in like the performance aspect of a book, because it just adds so much, and the experience of Evil Eye, so good. This one we're following a girl named Pallavi, and she is a writer living in, I think, California, and her parents are back home in India, and her mother is very concerned because I think she's around almost 30 years old, but she's not married, she doesn't have a boyfriend, and so her mother is so concerned with finding her someone to marry. What ends up happening is that Pallavi meets this guy in a coffee shop, and it's about their relationship and her relationship with her parents, and that's all I want to say, because if you get the chance to listen to this, I don't want to say anything about it because I went in not knowing like anything about this. I just saw it, read like a little synopsis, and the synopsis is also super vague, which helps. And I just went in and I was just blown away. Like the writing, it was just so good at making you feel so creepy and so scared. Like I literally like was listening to it with my eyes closed under a blanket on the couch late at night. Yeah, I finished those 2 over the weekend, and then my main one that I want to finish next is The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. This is just also blowing me away. This is incredible. I'm currently 193 pages through, and I've been taking it pretty slow. The audiobook is also awesome, I would recommend, but the writing in this one, I think I was speaking a little bit about it, but it's just so impressive when you find an author who, like I said, isn't controlled by language. It doesn't feel like their writing and their novels are being used by language. Like, it very much feels like they are the one like taking language and squeezing it out and pulling it apart and putting it back together and creating something new. Like, it's so rare to come across something that you feel like is like new in the English language, and a writer who does something completely new and unique, and it's like a whole different language within a language that you thought you knew and thought you knew how to speak. But then you read something like The God of Small Things and you're reminded that like, no, every single person speaks a different language. The book is comprised of like 10 billion small details, which makes up the story, hence kind of The God of Small Things. But so good, just so good. I hope to finish this maybe this week. I would really like to get to the end of this because it's also building so much suspense. There's like this horrific event that everyone keeps alluding to because this book is set retrospectively and we jump back and forth all the time between different times, which is a little bit confusing, but I think kind of once you get the hang of it, and once you know kind of who the characters are in these different timelines, they're like the same people, but of course they're very much different people as well. It becomes a lot easier, but we're really like just going down the road to this scary event that's coming up. So I don't know what it is and I don't know what it's gonna be, but yeah, I just really want to know. So that is The God of Small Things. I also started the Poetic Edda. This one's translated by Jackson Crawford. Also, thank you guys. When I talked about this in my March video, some of you recommended me his YouTube channel. He has a whole YouTube channel talking about Norse mythology, the language, Old Norse, a little bit of Old English and stuff like that, and it's just really cool. So I've been listening a lot to that as well. But this one's super interesting. I have read Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. I read that in 2019 and like I liked it, but I'm definitely enjoying the original like Poetic Edda way more, like so much more than Neil Gaiman. I'm someone who like yes, I appreciate Neil Gaiman's spin and his writing and it's very entertaining and fun, but I just feel always like I want the original. Last night I finished Letters to a Young Poet by Rilke, and very excited to say I've just been so inspired, and like I'm just gonna do a whole book review on it, and I'm just really excited. Do another thing like I did with Snow Country, hopefully even better this time. And yeah, I'm just so glad I read it in March. Actually, I've only ever read Letters to a Young Poet like front to back in March. I've never read it in any other month. I didn't mean to do that. I just, when I went on my Goodreads last night, I realized that was the case and I was like, huh, okay. This week, another goal this week, I would like to start The Ocean at the End of the Lane, speaking of Neil Gaiman, and I would also like to start Frankenstein in Baghdad, potentially. So those are my plans. Right now, I'm gonna film my Dickens vlog and yeah, just try to keep having a productive day. right, so it's now like time. It's like 6, it's almost 7 actually. But it doesn't feel like it because I'm still on a different time zone. But I just finished filming an ASMR video. Here's a hint. This was requested actually by a couple of you guys because I think a few of you used to watch my older videos from like a year ago. And yeah, so this is all the hint you get, I guess. But unfortunately my camera did cut out with like in the last 10 minutes because I have too many videos on it now, so I'll have to do some sneaky editing, I guess. But yeah, I'm just glad I at least did something productive today, and it's like 7. So I also wanted to go through my bookshelves today because as you can see, actually, can you see? Yeah, I'm running out of room. And I don't know if I want to cut my hair today or what. I always bounce back and forth between wanting to grow it out and then wanting to go super short again. So I don't know, maybe I'll give it a little bit more and see how I feel about it. But yeah, as you can see, I've started to stack books, which I don't love doing. So I've been taking honestly, it's been mostly young adult that I've just been like pillaging from, like a Jenga tower or something like that. But I've been taking books that either I've read, I don't really want to read again anytime soon, or just books that I haven't been loving so much, and I take them to my parents' house and put them in my bookshelf in my room. So that's what I might do right now, is pick a few books that like I just don't need here right now, in favor of like some new ones and some ones I'm really excited to read or reread, as the case may be. I also wanted to thank you guys so much for all the support of my last vlog. No, maybe it was 2 vlogs ago. It was the one where I kind of just opened up a little bit more about school, uni, the concussion, audiobooks, yeah, everything like that. Yeah, I always feel just sometimes very nervous and very shy. And then when I upload something, I'm like, oh, maybe I was just too vulnerable, or maybe like I didn't really want to go into that. But when I do end up kind of opening up about maybe a topic that hits a little bit close to home, or just kind of being open and more open than usual, it's just, your like support and your words, it just automatically like takes all of that kind of shyness and that nervousness about talking about issues that do hit closer to home completely away. And just makes like having good conversations such a valuable, beneficial, like literally wonderful experience. So thank you so much for just always making me feel so comfortable. I hope I make you feel the same way. And yeah, it's just so nice like seeing everyone here for each other, and I just love this community. I love you all so much. Recently I've just been feeling very much like I just miss university. It's more of like a feeling like I miss being there, you know what I mean? I don't miss like the Zoom lectures or anything like that. I hate the online uni experience, uni environment. I just miss being there. I miss going to the cafes on campus. I miss sitting in lectures. I miss having a professor in front of me talking about things. I just love that so much. I miss studying in the library. Yeah, I just miss that whole thing. And I don't know when we're gonna get that back. Anyway, I am going to film now. I'm gonna film now, stop talking, and film. All right, so I just finished scheduling my video for tomorrow. I'm really excited. You guys have been asking me to film this one for a while. It's where to start with classic literature. Yeah, so I just finished the thumbnail, and that is scheduled for tomorrow, 10 a.m. So quite excited. It's now almost 8:30, so I'm just gonna wind down, put on my nightgown. I'm gonna finish my chamomile tea, and I'm gonna read a little bit, I think maybe of Legendborn tonight actually. So yeah.